Welcome back to the prestigious Women's Getaway Talk Show. This is our second interview with the lovely Miss Erika Holzhausen. I was trying to make sure I say the name right because I don't want her to jump up on me. Because she just told me she came from a small little town, about 100 people. You know? Well, we're going to get a little information about her and talk to her a little bit on the prestigious Women's Getaway Talk Show. I'm going to let my co-host, Marina, tell us a little bit about her.
Hi everyone. Hi, we are here with Erika Holzhausen. Yeah, I got it right. Is it? Yeah. Yeah. So you came from a small town in Northern California to Los Angeles to do what brings you here?
Yeah, I grew up in a really small town called Prunedale. So anyone watching from Prunedale, what's up? Representing P-Town. I made it out. Yeah, I made it out. No, really small town, like population maybe 1,000. It's might have grown since then. Me and my brothers were literally like the only Asian kids in that town. It was a population primarily of Caucasian and Hispanic people. Yeah, I was an Asian princess. If I wanted to see, I had to go all the way to San Francisco if I wanted to see anyone that even looked like me. But yeah, I moved out to LA at 17 and was like, I'm going to make it in the city. I'm going to go to fashion school. So I ended up going to FIDM in downtown Los Angeles. Nice. Got a degree in fashion design and am now a working professional in the industry. I've gotten to collaborate with celebrities, professional athletes who I'm not allowed to name, but they're a big deal, and you can see them playing in the NBA right now. Let's go say that. Yeah.
So you were kind of their brain to build their fashion their clothing line, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I actually am a technical designer, and what that is, it's like a clothing engineer. So the designers or the celebrities who are doing their own fashion line, they're the ones who kind of come up with, I guess, their vision, and then I'm the one who actually brings it to life. So I take it from that little doodle sketch and actually turn it into a physical garment. I'm doing all the blueprints, the fitting, working with the factories. So I like to tell people the designers get all the credit, but I'm doing all the work. They won't admit that, but that's the case. That's how it happens.
And how challenging is that? This job? Someone who comes with a very rough design, and you make it into life. What are your challenges in your everyday, in your career?
Oh. There's a lot of challenges. I think what a lot of people don't realize with the fashion industry, it's a business, and people don't realize you have to be very smart in order to make it in this industry. It's not as simple as just, I want to make pretty dresses and here they are now on the runway, they come to life. There's a lot of work that goes behind it, and there's a lot of hair pulling, there's a lot of cattiness, and you need a thick skin to make it in that industry because a lot of it's very subjective. You could have put a lot of work into something and it can get ripped apart as far as reviews go and people not liking it, and a lot of the designs never even see the light of day. But like I said, what I do is I kind of help bring those things to life. So I kind of help steer the designer into making something that's marketable and sellable and that's actually going to fit properly. And I think a lot of people don't realize as well, we've all had that where you're a size 4 in one brand and you're a size 2 in another brand and a size 8 in another brand. Yeah. So with my job, I'm the one figuring that out and trying to make sure that I find these pair of jeans are going to fit most people in the world, and it's not possible to fit everyone. But sometimes what we do and what we make at the corporate offices isn't what happens to make it in stores. So you might have made these beautiful pairs of jeans and it ends up getting in stores and the factory completely messed it up, and now that size 6 fits like a size 2. So ladies out there, don't even pay attention to the number. Just if you like it, try it on. If it fits you, great, but don't worry about the number because stuff gets screwed up all the time. And
just a number.
Yeah, it's just a number. It might.
Every time you ask a woman, what size you are, Well, wear a 4 in this and a 2 in this.
Yes, exactly. And so much of that, yeah, it's just quality control. Sometimes how we wanted it to fit isn't what ends up making it in stores. So it's just a number, ladies. Love your body. Be confident. You're beautiful.
And you also have a background in modeling too, right? Did it help with the fashion business, or one helped the other? Or how did it go?
Yeah, I never really was interested in modeling just because, I mean, you see these models and you're like, oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous. These Amazonian women, like I can't even compare to that. But I kind of got thrown into it because, yeah, I work in the fashion industry, and every once in a while they go, hey, our fashion model dropped out. Hey, Erika, you're tall. Like, you get in there. You're going to, oh, okay. So that's kind of how I got into it. And I started to like it. I mean, who doesn't like getting their photo taken and people telling you you're beautiful? And I'm like, no, I think I can do this. I like this.
So you have no problem with cameras whatsoever. Did it help? And I know also that you are transitioning to acting too, and you've been to a couple of projects, which are the Wall of Flash, through the world's eyes and theirs. And last one, it's kind of interesting. Sounds like a documentary. Correct me if it's not. It's the Invisible Project. What does it mean to be an American? So tell me a little bit more about these projects. How did you end up in them?
Yeah. I was the former Miss Los Angeles, USA 2015, and God, thank you. I'm no longer the reigning Miss Los Angeles, with pageants, you do a lot of charity work, and I was doing charity work before that. So I worked with the Joyful Heart Foundation, Peace Over Violence, the No More organization, and I speak out a lot about causes that I believe in, like fighting domestic violence, raising awareness for sexual assault victims, stuff like that. And it's interesting. It's kind of just through word of mouth, people started to take notice that I was very outspoken about these subjects, and people started to reach out to me for other projects. You interviewed Brittany earlier. I had the privilege of being part of her pilot of the No Shame Project. Wow. And it was a wonderful experience. I got to share my story and hopefully use that as a way to uplift other people. And through that, I got the opportunity to work with the Invisible Project. What does it mean to be an American? And one thing that they liked about me, I guess, and were interested in me to talk to them about it, is the fact that, I am second generation. My grandfather came from China, and he came here and made a life for himself. And to me, he really inspired me to be who I am today. He came literally fresh off the boat, and he managed to become educated. He was very into the symphony. He learned how to play like 3 different instruments, photographer, engineer, and he did everything he could in his power to not be known as the Chinaman, but I'm an American. And that's something that's really beautiful to me, is that he came from literally nothing and has been able to have a family. And me being his granddaughter, I'm doing pretty all right for myself. Made it from the small town into the big city.
You're an inspiration to a lot of
people.
From your small town.
And that's so with that project, I got to really express, what it means to me to be American, and that is, the pursuit of happiness. As cliche as that sounds, it's a cliche for a reason. It's the fact that here we can accomplish our dreams despite our adversities and what we've been through. No one can tell us that we can't do something. And he got to call himself an American. I got to call myself American, and but while still holding on to my roots, which is being half Chinese and half German, and that's something that I think really people don't realize is a very American thing. We get to say I'm an American, but I'm also from Chinese heritage, German heritage, or wherever else, and hold on to that and not let us forget our history. Where versus a lot of other places, it's not like that, And I take a lot of pride in being able to say that. Yeah.
Diversity is definitely a beautiful thing that we have in this country. Yeah, I can tell for myself too. Yeah. So.
And that's what we do here. We have diversity here on the show, and it's I'm just listening as you was coming up in the industry. Was it hard for you being Chinese and the ethnicity you are? Was it a little harder for you to get grounded?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. My biggest challenge I notice is being half-half. You know, I'm half white, half Asian, and I always kind of struggle with this sort of identity crisis in a way because I didn't quite fit in enough with the Asian community. I didn't quite fit enough with the, I guess, Caucasian community, because to a lot of Caucasian people, it's like, oh, well, you're Chinese. Like, do you speak Chinese? I'll just say, well, one, Chinese isn't the language; it's Mandarin or Cantonese. And then when my Chinese side been like, well, you're very Americanized. You know, you don't speak any other languages, and so I always kind of felt like, well, where do I fit in? And in fashion, that was kind of hard for me as well, because I would go into a job and they'd be like, oh, you're half Chinese. You can communicate with our factories in China. I said, no, I can't. I don't know. I only speak English. So that was a struggle for me. But, you know, I think no matter where you come from, again, I came from a very small town. Most people do not make it out of that town. And they, you know, get married at a very young age, have kids at a very young age, and then their kids do the same thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the life you want, you know, to each their own. But I want people to understand that despite where you come from, there is absolutely no reason why you can't accomplish your dreams if you are willing to put in the work. And I think that's what people need to realize as well is, you know, put in the work. Things don't just get handed to you. And it's so much more rewarding and satisfying knowing you've put in the work and being able to say, wow, look where I am at right now. Look who I've become. And I did this. That's so cool. I did this, you know.
And I said I can relate to you coming from a small town too.
Yeah.
And it's like, I heard what you're saying earlier, it's like a lot of people from the small town, they don't like to get out of that cycle. It's a revolving cycle,
Yeah.
and they're scared, and it's like fear to step out
Yeah.
and do what they really want to do. So they get stuck in that cycle in that little town, and it just revolves. I just want to say I give you props for getting out. I mean, having courage and just
You
getting
gotta
out the
take
box,
risks.
you know, and
Yeah.
taking a risk, because that's what it's all about, is taking a risk.
And they don't call it risk for no reason. I mean, risk is scary. I mean,
You're right.
because you play with this thing of, all right, well, this could happen, that could be really bad,
Yeah.
but this really great thing could happen, but do I want to risk that bad thing happening?
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to just, you know, bite the bullet and just do it, you know, because again, things aren't going to be handed to you. You have to put in hard work.
That's
Look
right.
where we are right now.
That's right.
You guys
That's right.
have got probably put in a lot of work to get your own show
Yeah,
right here, right
it's
now.
hard work. It's hard work.
Yeah.
It's hard work. What are your future plans with your projects? What are your future plans?
Yeah, well, I definitely want to spread the word more out there about, again, my cause, you know, breaking that stigma of mental illness and overcome for the victims and survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. You know, as a survivor of both domestic violence and sexual assault, and coming from that small town, you know, I really had a lot of hurdles to get over to get to where I am today. And I really want to emphasize to people out there, no matter who you are, and if you're in a dark place right now, no, you will see the light again. You can come out of it. And it's scary, but don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to look for resources. Again, check out the Joyful Heart Foundation, nomore.org, or peaceoverviolence.org. There's a lot of resources out there that weren't available to me when I was growing up. Even reaching out to me at ega.today. And if you need me to be a voice for you, I will. But again, for me, I really want to make sure that I'm spreading good positive message out there.
Yeah.
And hopefully one day not just collaborate with celebrities on their designs, but have my own eco-conscious and
that'd be
fashion
awesome.
line run on green energy. There's a lot of waste in the fashion industry, and I hope to kind of put less of a carbon
Yeah,
footprint
yeah.
on the planet. So
And a lot of people don't think about that, but that's something really to think about. That's something.
yeah,
Yeah.
we you know, I'm
Our
wearing
grandkids will thank you.
yes, no. One thing that I'm wearing this awesome dress from Carolyn Sweets, and one thing that I love about what she does is she takes vintage clothing, and so this is stuff that's recycled and it's not putting more waste into the environment. Same with her jewelry. You know, this is stuff
right.
that she, you know, looks for, and she finds all these beautiful pieces and makes these beautiful outfits without, and I can wear them knowing that it's morally and ethically and environmentally friendly and conscious, you know, and so that's what I really hoped to have when I own my own business, is that I'm going to find a way to recycle goods and not put more waste into the environment, because in the fashion industry there's a lot of waste, you know.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and you know, we need to be, we're buying the clothes, so they're going to keep making stuff, so we have to, you know, be very aware of that. And again, that's another reason why I love Carolyn's sweet stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
Carolyn makes some nice stuff.
Yeah, I feel very fierce in my ensemble right now.
But I want to say, I want to thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for
And I know you're gonna make it. You made it out that little town, and you look where you're at now. So I know you're gonna get to where you're going.
Out there, Ferndale, represent. Look.
I heard that, Prudell. I want to thank you. I want to say it was a blessing and an honor to have you on.
Thank you so much. It's such a
Yes.
privilege to be here.